Brian Windhorst of ESPN has recently said that the Portland Trailblazers have been popping up as a potential offseason landing spot for Chicago Bulls all-star guard Zach LaVine. Matt, I got a very simple question for you. Where is Zach LaVine going to end up? Should he stay with the Chicago Bulls or should he pursue his options elsewhere as he enters this summer as an unrestricted free agent?
Well, you know, Scott, he did say right from the bat he's going to enjoy free agency. So I think he is going to look around. I think he's going to picture some of this stuff. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a guy like Zach LaVine. In a career, there's not many opportunities where you can be the highly touted free agent of the free agent class, and that's what he is at this point.
No doubt.
He is the most highly touted. And so I think he's going to do that. But I just feel like the setup with Chicago, some of the stuff that went into what they were able to do this year, some of the hindrances that were on that team as far as Lonzo being out and even him having injuries, I feel like it's really hard to not only turn down the money, but also turn down the chance to run it back and really see what a fully healthy Chicago Bulls team can look like when you have Caruso, DeRozan, Lonzo, LaVine, and then also guys like Williams and DeSumo. So I think he's going to stay, but I definitely think he's going to take his time and just really give Chicago Bulls fans a lot of stress and anxiety heading into the offseason.
Yeah, he's going to have Bulls fans sweating quite a bit this summer. And again, as you mentioned, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, for somebody like Zach LaVine to be the most highly touted free agent in the free agency class coming off the season, the last 2 seasons that he's had in Chicago. He's earned, this ability to, kind of survey the landscape and, kind of feel courted by NBA franchises and whatnot. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the Chicago Bulls, that's where Zach LaVine belongs at this point in his career. He's been a part of the Bulls' resurgence. He's been, a main pillar of the Bulls' resurgence over the last few seasons. And, you mentioned it, his injuries, Lonzo Ball's injuries, Caruso injury, Patrick Williams missing most of the regular season. And this Bulls team was still able to make it into the playoffs as a 6 seed, win a road game in the playoffs against the defending reigning NBA champion. So there's plenty of optimism surrounding this franchise, and again, I just don't see a better situation for Zach LaVine. Chicago can offer him the most money. I think Chicago offers him the best city in the NBA, and obviously, the situation surrounding him with teammates, coaches, somebody like Billy Donovan who loves and appreciates Zach LaVine and can obviously also help him continue to improve. And I think just the relationship with his teammates like DeMar DeRozan and obviously again Lonzo, Caruso. I think Zach belongs in Chicago, and I think it'd be very silly to be completely honest if he went elsewhere, Portland in particular. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you want to go to a worse city to make less money, to probably be less successful as a basketball player, as a basketball team? It makes no sense to me. Obviously, Dallas has been floated around. Playing with Luka Doncic would be awesome, but again, you'd be making less money. Dallas is a great city. It ain't Chicago, I'll tell you that much, but I just don't see leaving Chicago where we were the Bulls. Zach LaVine is synonymous with the Bulls right now at this point. DeMar DeRozan, part of the reason, you were able to bring in somebody like DeMar DeRozan is because Zach LaVine, his success, the superstar, kind of box office that he brings in. That's just how I feel right now. I'd be surprised if he was elsewhere.
You're keeping the professionalism up, and I respect the heck out of that because I know you're sweating a little bit too.
He got me a little worried. Like, Zach, just remember where you at. And if you want to bring your boy DeJounte Murray, your Seattle brother, to Chicago, bring him along. But yeah, especially don't go to San Antonio. I hope you talk to DeMar that San Antonio ain't where you need to be right now.
No, and honestly, even for a guy that's not openly rooting for the Bulls, anytime the Chicago Bulls are good, it's good for NBA, it's good for basketball, and it's good for the Eastern Conference, which is exciting. And honestly, the one thing above all is it feels like this was the year where everything just hit perfectly for the Bulls, and they actually outperformed what everybody was expecting. It'd be weird to not run it back at least once just to see what could happen. You know what you're going to be facing in Milwaukee and in Boston. And I think the Bulls, with a year under their belt with the Billy Donovan system, could really make some noise. It'd just be very surprising. As far as going, as like you said, best setup, Dallas is the one that still makes somewhat of sense just because that's the only other really playoff contending team that would possibly want him. And you're also playing with arguably an all-time great in Luka Doncic. The other one with the Lakers, that that's just the Lakers hype, I think. Surviving and also LeBron James, but I don't buy it. I just don't think they can make it work.
Yeah.
So LaVine, stay with the Bulls. Enjoy your time. Don't listen to Allen Robinson and stay with the Bulls.
And also, too, you got to take into consideration, I know Zach knows this, I think the Bulls have one of the most competent front offices in the NBA now at this point. A few years ago, under the previous regime, I mean, I could completely understand you wanting to go elsewhere. But again, Arturas Karnisovas has completely, flipped this franchise around. Again, bringing in DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, drafting Patrick Williams. These are moves, and I think he's going to have another great offseason ahead of him. And again, you don't even have to do too much, reconstructing with this Bulls roster. There definitely needs to be some improvements around the edges, improve the depth of this team. But, again, just getting Lonzo for a full season, Patrick Williams for a full season, Caruso for a full season should improve this team, immensely. And even Zach getting back to 100%, this team should be even better than it was as a 6 seed who was the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference for the majority of this season. So, again, I just think this is the perfect spot for Zach. You ain't got to do too much thinking, man. Enjoy your offseason, man. Have fun, but, know that there's a big payday in Chicago waiting for you at the end of it. But that should do it. And also, too, I want to keep – is he worthy of a max contract? Because some guys like Nick Friedel think that he's not worthy. I just want to remind people, hobbled in the playoffs, I was only 4 games. Zach missed 1 game of that first-round series with the Milwaukee Bucks. Through 4 games, he averaged 19, 5, and 6 He was the first Bulls player since D. Rose to score 20 points, have 10 assists in a playoff game. So that wasn't even great. Again, this was hobbled, less than 100%. Zach LaVine still playing pretty damn well in the postseason. Obviously, he was great in the regular season. Another All-Star, about 25, 5, and 5. So I think while he may not be worthy of the max contract, what he's done, I just don't see how you can deny him of it.
I think LaVine suffers from recency bias as far as being a really good player on a really bad team and putting up big numbers because of that. Because it's, when somebody puts up big numbers on the Detroit Pistons, who cares? It's the Detroit Pistons. Right. Chicago is just now getting back to where they should be. And before that, it was, LaVine went off for 40, but Chicago's still going to end up, missing the playoffs. I think that's part of the reason you think of him that way. But his potential is still absolutely up there. I was saying in the production meeting, this guy feels like he can get you, 30 points and 8 assists on some unbelievable shooting, numbers.
How many guys in the NBA can win a slam dunk contest and be in the 3-point contest?
Exactly.
How many guys can do that?
Exactly.
How many guys can do that? I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's a handful of guys who have more bounce than Zach LaVine, just more explosive athleticism to their game. And again, he's rounded it out.
His talent is not the reason I wouldn't give him a max contract. The injury bugs is the one thing that would make me worry. But his potential, he absolutely can be, a 1 or 2 on a very, very good, NBA playoff team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Zach LaVine, I think we're staying in Chicago. Yeah. Zach LaVine, don't do too much. And all those other fans of franchises who want LaVine on your roster, you're gonna have to wait at least maybe forever.
Keep his name out of your mouth.
For real. But catch us on tomorrow's episode of Simple Question. But for Scott Proctor and Matt Morris right here, we'll see you then.